Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we will be talking about this major snowstorm, winter storm that is moving in currently into the western United States. This will be dumping a lot of mountain snow, a lot of rain, and eventually moving out into the plains where it could be developing some severe weather and additional precipitation with the system. So a lot of kind of working pieces. There's going to be a lot of warm temperatures out ahead of this strong winds. So there's also going to be quite a bit of indirect impacts. I do want to say I am feeling a little bit sick, so today's video will be probably a little bit shorter than most. Therefore, I also may just sound a little bit lower on energy, and that's because of because I'm a little bit sick. All right, so let's start off by looking at the National Weather Service Weather Ready Nation map. Do note that across the northwestern United States is where we have a lot of advisories for snow and winter. Winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. So yeah, advisories for snow and winter. We also have a lot of areas of high wind watches and warnings towards the southwest. Not as much, again, directly impacted by the precipitation and the rain and the snow, but more so by the heavy and strong winds. There will be a few areas you can see, like the mountain range right here, the Wasatch in Utah, that will be getting quite a bit of snow. Now that doesn't necessarily, I don't think, include in Salt Lake City. It's going to be just east of you, but you can see a lot of winter storm warnings posted, and there could be quite a bit of snow. Again, nothing record-breaking, but definitely for the first storm of the season, it's going to be bringing some decent snow. I do also want to say that this isn't going to be absolutely incredible for any given region. Chances are the heaviest snow will fall across Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons, where there could be some pretty legendary amounts. But what's more impressive about the system is the fact that it's going to be dropping so much snow for such a large area. You could see that anywhere from the Cascades we have into Oregon, we have winter weather advisories, into the Bitterroots, into Montana right there, into Colorado, into the Wasatch, Grand Tetons. And you can see we still have some watches across Colorado that aren't yet warnings. And we have red flag warnings because of the strong southerly winds that are increasing the fire danger. And you can see a lot of these areas that won't even see precipitation, as I mentioned, will be seeing strong winds. And you can see they have, especially obviously if you have Halloween decorations at this time of the year or any fall decorations, get ready for some of these winds to be pretty nasty, and these could toss around not only decorations but also maybe even damage some weaker buildings and whatnot. So that is that with the National Weather Service. I don't want to focus on too many individual offices, as again, this is a very widespread system. I want to show you currently what's going on. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, this system is very quick moving. It is a system that already is impacting the United States. You can see there's already moisture moving into the northwest, mainly in the form of rain, but as it gets further inland, it starts converting into some snow. Notice that today by 8 p.m., so sorry, I apologize. I thought that I had it at the current time frame, but I was using a model run from a few hours ago. So this is what it looked like at 2 p.m. This is what it looks like now. So by 8 p.m., which is currently, you can see it already moved in pretty far into the northwest. We do have, again, quite a bit of snow occurring across the higher elevations, decent amounts of rain across the lower elevations, and this thing is loaded with precip. Notice that this thing doesn't kind of weaken as some systems do. It manages to survive, and not only that, but intensify. Notice there's at this point a low pressure that starts developing, 989 millibars of low pressure. This is at 9 a.m. So again, we're not that far out in terms of time. October 22nd, so this is tomorrow, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m. This is Central Standard Time, so it is going to be a few hours deducted for these areas here. I think 1 to 2 hours, depending on where you are on that time zone. And you can see that we do have, again, that cold front from the system that's really going to be dragging that precipitation into Utah and Nevada, and that's why that's the piece of the system that's going to be bringing the heavy snow into the Wasatch. Notice the northern part of this initially, or after a while, after dumping some snow across Montana, breaks up, but it quickly reforms and starts dumping quite a bit of heavy snow by late Saturday and into early Sunday across, again, Wyoming further west and across Montana as well. And you can see that this is also bringing some pretty nasty snow across the Utah and Colorado area. Now, you can see this system at hour 48. This is how far this HER model is only letting me go. It only goes out to 48 hours, so it's short range. But usually, we like these type of models for short range systems because they are more accurate. Though again, the downfall is that they may not show the entirety of it, and they only go out so far. Total snowfall. Again, the system isn't completely done yet at this time, as you saw, but for the northwest and the west, there are already some significant accumulations. Again, it's a bit hard to see, but the deeper the colorations You can see here the scale, the higher the snowfall, and the green and blues do appear slightly across Yellowstone. You can see a generous portion of Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Utah, Colorado covered in that snow, into the Cascades as well. So a lot of areas going to get impacted by this. In terms of the total precip, so this now includes snow and the rain. You can see a lot more areas getting impacted because, well, not everyone's going to be seeing snow from this. And if I zoom back out and show you this system, you notice that there are tight millibars that are pumping a lot of warm air from the south. So yes, that does mean very warm temperatures for a good portion of the United States on Saturday and Sunday. So today was already a very nice warm day here across my area, and you can see, today was Friday, got up into the 70s here. It was very nice and warm. Tomorrow, this is now 4 a.m. 5, so tomorrow during the day you can see quickly heats up, complete change compared to what we saw even a few days ago with the frost across the south. And then on Sunday, yet again, especially Saturday night, a very warm night. And on Sunday, temperatures blossom yet again. And these will continue to blossom as this cold front moves towards the east. But again, we only go out to hour 48 with this model run. Let me go back to the radar range / frozen, but click on a different model that takes us a bit further out, NAM 12KM. You can see it develops a system. Again, that wind from the south, pretty strong. And earlier in the week, we're thinking that the system might develop into a monster across the plains, but it seems that there will be a little bit of a disconnect from the southern moisture. And you can see that the first part of the system does bring some snow into the Dakotas, into southern Canada, but it weakens. But the cold front of it develops into a separate system, and that proceeds to be bringing quite a bit of rain across the southern central United States and into the Midwest. So when all in all is done with this snowstorm, you can see some pretty heavy amounts. Again, not just to the northwest and west. There could be some pretty heavy amounts across the southern Canadian plains, prairies. Sorry, the GFS you can see shows very similar amounts, so that is definitely interesting to note. And by the way, with this system intensifying, the second part, the cold front, there could be some lingering precip that jumps a little bit of snow into New Mexico and Colorado in the form of snow, so we have to watch for that as well. On here, I want to show you the European snowfall amounts. Again, they are pretty significant from the European as well. And interestingly enough, the European actually keeps the system the strongest as it moves down to the plains. So notice, there it is, right, moving through the northwest into today, into tomorrow, into Sunday, and then eventually Monday. You can see it moves out, and again, it drops quite a bit of snow across southern Canada and into extreme western portions of North Dakota. There's some nasty storms that could be occurring with this. Maybe not a widespread severe weather event, but definitely some. And you can see the European really favors western North Dakota, seeing quite a bit of snow with that. And then there it is. You can see the system strengthens, but at this point it's pretty far to the north, so affecting northern portions of Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So not even the more populated areas. But if you live across Brandon, Winnipeg, you could definitely still see some, snowflakes and some snow showers. And you can see that second part of the system right here delivers some pretty heavy rain across the south. That could be definitely more of a severe weather threat concern and some heavy rain as well. And you can see that eventually pretty quickly moves out as well. So in terms of total snowfall from the European, rather similar to the GFS and the NAM 12KM. So that is good news that there is a decent agreement with those models. And you can see that the European is probably the most robust across North Dakota. But elsewhere, it also shows some pretty significant accumulations of snowfall. So that is that. The GFS I showed you, the European I showed you, the HER model I showed you. I do also want to quickly just show you the more longer range pattern that could be occurring after the system passes. So again, there's that cold front part of the system, and this is what I was talking about, some of that snow into New Mexico. On the backside of this second part of the system, the cold front, there could be a bit of precip that washes back into the mountains, producing some snow. So we'll have to be watch for that. But notice Tuesday, Wednesday, the system lifts up into the north pretty slowly, so there could be some decent rain amounts with that, but then it picks up speed and gets out of here. In a long range, it seems like a more warmer pattern, at least compared to what we've been seeing. Definitely nothing absurd. And you can see it's more of a kind of a in-between pattern. There's no strong winds from either direction. We continue seeing activity from the north and west, but no big systems probably for a decent while, so there's definitely something important and interesting to note. Later on, maybe some sort of a cool down. But again, I wouldn't say the models are too awfully active across the central or eastern or southern United States. More so across the northwest. Canadian, I forgot to show you this one. I want to show you the storm system with this one. There again, you can see it moves in Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday and Tuesday, producing that snow. Moves out into the plains again, like the other models, splits it into two systems, and the cold front part of this storm also produces quite a bit of rain. And then you can see constant moisture flowing to the northwest, but none of these systems necessarily making it out into the plains and developing into strong storms. So that is definitely interesting. And also the Canadian kind of keeping things rather tame. In terms of the European, it's also very similar with that regard. But on this website, I want to show you the European's temperature anomaly just to show you the gist of what could come with these temperatures. Again, out ahead of this big storm, it's going to be cool. Behind it, across the west, it's going to be cold. So kind of a flip around compared to what we've been seeing. But then notice by next week, Wednesday, Thursday, little pockets of warmth, little pockets of cool. I would say, though, predominantly warm for the eastern United States and maybe a bit cooler towards the west. But again, no extraordinary pattern compared to what you've been seeing, with out ahead of this system with these warm temperatures and last week with that massive cool down. So that's basically it for today's video, guys. Just wanted to give you an update on the system. It's a powerful storm, lots of snow. And yeah, stay safe because for a lot of people, this will be the first snowstorm of the season. And yeah, that's always, even if these locations are very used to it, it's always a bit of a wrench. It throws people off pretty much, right? As it's always the first one. So even if you're used to it, it's always something to keep in the back of your mind that it's the first one of the season. You can see right there, click somewhere near Yellowstone, some snowfall amounts. And again, it will continue into next week, the active pattern. It just seems that essentially none of that moisture will be making out into the big storm compared to storms like this one, which will be bringing precip across the west and then moving out into the plains. So you can see right there, Colorado, big mountain range here, 3 to 5, less than half an inch. Again, nothing extraordinary, but it's still a storm, and it could drop quite a bit of heavy snow. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all next episode. See ya. Bye.